So I knew from day one coming here that I absolutely wanted to get involved. I had no idea with what at the time. I found my home after jumping around with 6 or 7 organizations during that first semester at the Ticker. The Ticker is the undergraduate student newspaper here at Baruch. My first night there, I stayed till 2 in the morning reading articles and editing them and just trying to prove that I was a team player and I really wanted to be a part of what I saw there. And it absolutely paid off because at the end of my first year, I was elected editor-in-chief of the paper. I can't think of another college experience that gave me more insight into the way communication functions in our day-to-day lives in a professional and a social context. And it was absolutely the most positive experience I had in college.
I got involved with a club called Conversation Partners Program. It's been the most meaningful experience of my college career because Baruch is always featured on all these lists, the most diverse public school in the country. We felt that people didn't really engage with that diversity. So we really wanted to have a program that helps both groups of people. The very clear benefit obviously would be for the non-native speaker to become more confident in their English speaking skills. So we match people up and they meet for weekly informal conversation. And the native speakers learn how to communicate across cultures and how to be comfortable talking to someone who doesn't speak your language.
So I just took part in a all-night bike from my professor of anthropology, Ken Guest. It was awesome. We started at 10 o'clock at night. We started at Columbia and went all throughout the city, stopping at a whole bunch of places and even a Chinese restaurant in the middle of the night. And we ended with a sunrise on the Brooklyn Bridge, which was incredible, and I'm so glad I did it.
One of the many cultural events that Baruch College has almost every semester is visiting the gallery. The Michigan Gallery of Baruch College really shaped my experience culturally, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I think that's when I started to fall in love with art. You learn about different artists that you've never even heard of or experienced that contributed so much. Being able to go to the art gallery and experiencing and learning about the different paintings that were there, and definitely is something that I am still carrying on into my grad school.
So I went to a bunch of shows by the Lincoln Center and by all over throughout Brooklyn and whatnot. You're gonna go out, you're gonna go with a bunch of your friends, you're gonna have a really good time. It's not gonna cost you anything, so it's like a night out and you get to see the city and like you'll know the arts or the theaters all around the city. So this way, if anyone ever comes like visit you or whatever, you can point them in the right direction. It's nice to have.
While I was in China, I also wrote a thesis that dived into how the social concept of guanxi, which is kind of like a social system of reciprocity that there is in China, how that plays into business agreements and negotiations and job offers that happen later on in the future.
So the past year, during my senior year, I was doing research in organic chemistry. It's hands-on, I learned a great deal, and we actually got published. Well, submitted, so hopefully it got published.
One of the most valuable things about my experience at Baruch College has been my thesis. So honor students are encouraged to do theses, but I think the important thing to think about is what long-term project would you be interested in taking the time to explore?
Hi, my name is Melanie Ho. I am a graduating senior, class of 2015, and I am a public affairs major. I found that I really enjoyed looking at sustainability and I wanted to explore that a bit further. I've been writing this paper this semester about New York City's drinking water supply and how that falls into place with climate change and what we can do about that. People definitely encourage research. It's definitely something that is there for you to do, and people will certainly help you along the way if that's something you want to pursue.
Hi, my name is Holly Kiang. I'm the class of 2014. I made my own major studying biological anthropology and environmental science. I studied abroad multiple times doing field research in environmental science and in archaeology in Barbuda, Honduras, Iceland, Brazil, and Kenya. My first program was in Honduras. After that, I would speak with professors and fellow students, and they introduced me to a professor who would take me on her research grant to go to Barbuda to do an archaeological dig. I stayed in archaeology, and so then I went to Iceland, and those interests led me to create my major around this sort of studying abroad and exploring new cultures.
I got to study abroad twice, both wonderful experiences, sort of defining experiences of my entire life, I could say, and that would not have been possible on my budget without the opportunities fund. First one was in Florence, Italy. It was wonderful. I learned so much. The second study abroad experience that I had was studying in Berlin, and I studied German. Study abroad has definitely helped me understand that I'm good at traveling and I don't freak out if I'm placed in situations where I'm not really sure of myself.
My advice to all you incoming freshmen is get involved, be excited, and be as enthusiastic as possible and get to know your advisors.
It's 4 years in college. You should relax and try to make the most of it. A lot of people have this idea that they're just here to get some sort of degree, but really, these are your peers, these are your people who will help you learn and grow in different ways. So really be open to trying out different things.